everybody, it's me. So I'm a horrible, no good, very bad person, and I made my video a couple days ago and said I was going to vlog this next week, and then I forgot. So I'm gonna play a little catch up on the last 2 nights. Yeah, 2 nights, and then I'll vlog from here. So this is still kind of like a vlog. It just, I have to do a little catching up. So first, and I have things everywhere. I didn't pull anything out when I remembered and went, oh my goodness, I forgot to do this. So I have a big old mess in here. I'm trying to get reorganized and get ready. I've been getting ready for Stitch Mania, so I'll go over that here in a minute. Not completely, just kind of give you a preview. Stitch Mania! Part of me is thinking I'm completely insane, and part of me is so excited it's ridiculous. So, what do you do? So, I recorded Wednesday morning, like 2 in the morning, and I uploaded the video, and then pretty much went to bed after that. No, I take that back. I stayed up cleaning, but I didn't do any stitching that morning. Then that evening, I did a little bit. Like, let's see, maybe 100 stitches, a little more than 100. So, and I was working on her. So I started this dark outline all the way around here, and then filling in the middle of her dress there. So that's all she got done. It wasn't a lot, but it was better than not stitching at all, right? I was excited about that. Then I got to work last night, and I pulled out my focus piece, which is where I just had it. It was like right in my hand a minute ago. Haha. Okay. And I didn't even get through the full amount of stitches for the day, and I was done. It's all done. So I gotta finish Loving Cat. It's all done. So I went on to the IGs, the Instagram, and I put up my options for next month's focus. Up until now, I just kind of picked it, but I was having a really hard time deciding, and my random number generator, it kept pretty much picking the same one, and I just couldn't decide if that's what I really wanted. So I was like, I'm going to let everybody pick for me. And so I gave them all day to do that. So I didn't finish my focus stitches for last night. I'll have to do all that catching up tonight. It's going to be quite a few stitches, and then move on to my projects for tonight, which I haven't even picked yet. So I've got April pretty much ready to go. It's just getting to there. And of course, the first 3 days of April, I'll probably do next to no stitching because of my son's surgery. So there's that. So then after that was finished, because I couldn't pull out the focus finish because I didn't know what it was yet, I pulled out the piece I was working on last night, which was my Heaven and Earth design. I've decided I love stitching on this at work. I don't know why I waited this long to even try, because the setup's just more comfortable, it's better, and I've been getting pretty good progress the last time and this time, and yeah, changing up my rotation, I'm getting really excited about these pieces again, because I felt like these were never getting worked on, and they need more work than any of them, any of my pieces. So last night I worked on Mini Phantom of the Masquerade, and I put in 680 stitches last night, and I know that's not a lot, but on a Heaven and Earth design, it really is. And look at how you can see the swirl of color in there. That looks so cool. So this is the far edge of the page. This is the bottom of the page. And I just have, you know, this much to go. I think it's, let me see. Can you see that? The lighting is horrible. I'm sorry. The sun's going down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, about 11 squares, 12 squares, somewhere in there. And of course the bottom row isn't a full 100, it's only 80. So anyways, I love the progress that happened on that. And you'll get to see it better later, but you at least get to see it. So there's that. Okay, and so that gets me caught up. I haven't stitched it all today yet. I was busy, you know, just trying to get things paid off. Oh my goodness. I was working on my bills. My husband texted me and said something about paying something off, and that's what made me think of blah. Okay. Gotta love vlogging. You get the real stuff. I'm a mess. So I was working on bills, and I was also working on getting some stuff ready. Like, I did some kitting. This is actually 2 new projects. I just need to go home and cut the fabric in half and sew both sides so that it doesn't unravel. Got those ready to go and put in my list of everything. And trying to get to my calendar so you can see I got the first. Like I said, I just planned 2 weeks in advance, not the whole month, because if I'm going to be able to work on them a second time, I want everything to have been worked on prior to that. So that's all my projects. And so then, and you know, this month they may get a chance to get worked on more than once, and then come May, after May, things will never see 2 days. Oh my goodness, So I'm going to give you a sneak peek. Now remember, what I'm doing, and this is, I'm trying to figure out what that noise is. Oh, okay. So because I changed my rotation, it opened up more slots. Because before, I didn't have anything on Tuesday and Wednesdays because those were hate-only days. I didn't have anything on Saturdays because those were Monopoly days. I didn't have anything on Fridays because those were Stitch Smalls. So and then if I started something for Manual last year, on that date this year, I'm going to work on that piece. So my spots were really limited until I changed my rotation. And Monopoly will hopefully be done by May. I really, really, really hope so. So I'm gonna make that a goal, is to have it finished before May 1st, so that it doesn't mess with this rotation. Or for these new starts. So every pink tag you see is a new start, and my battery's trying to die on us. And I'm not going to go through all of it right now, but I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of what May looks like for me. Oh my gosh, that's craziness. Because I do the whole stitch the whole month instead of the first 15 days or whatever. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26 new starts. So, how was that? It's horrible because I didn't show you the before. But anyways, I also want to apologize for how quickly the last video got cut off. I had somebody at my door, so I had to like really get off. Anyway, so because I didn't show you and if I can, I will insert a picture of this before here. But I did all the back stitching, all of it. I hadn't done any of it. And then I've just been kind of working my way over as I can. I had to finish the shell and this, the foot, the seaweed going up. So it's 502 stitches later, because I wanted to just go ahead and finish out this month on the Ultimate Cross Stitch Group stitches. since in about 5 minutes it'll be the 31st. So I figured I could go ahead and just knock out the 31st and be ready to pull this back out on the 1st. If I can, because like I said, I'll probably be driving to Houston. But, so that's where we're at. I haven't picked what I'm fixing to work on just yet. So let me do that and I'll be right back with y'all. So I did a random number generator and ended up with quotes to live by. So I just bought this piece because I hadn't had it yet. So I'm gonna finish this piece of the border first and then come and work in here. It's just after midnight, so I'll have about 5 hours, give or take, because I still haven't eaten yet. Watching some Flosstube. Don't want to, show the chart there. Yeah, so that's where I'm at, and I'm gonna dig right into this because I just absolutely love this project. So I'll see you in a little bit. I almost forgot again, but I didn't. Okay, here's where I got on quotes to live by. Finished this completely. Brought this around the corner. Brought this down some. But I was really anxious to actually work on the block. So I got all that done. 850 stitches. Since midnight. With a break for eating. I don't think that's that bad at all. This thing is so beautiful. Anyway. Okay, so tonight, well, currently it is the morning of Saturday the 31st, so tonight I'll be randomly picking another one to work on, and then we'll start my April schedule possibly the next day, yada yada. So I'm gonna sign off for now, and I will talk to y'all later. Good evening, everybody. It is Saturday, March 31st, and I am just now getting, okay, let me backtrack just a little bit. I started stitching a little while ago on this. I've gotten about 50 stitches or so done, but I was busy talking to Jessie on Instant Messenger and forgot to do a video, so I blame Jessie. But anyways, here it is. I did a random number generator to pick which of my Year of Whips projects I was going to work on tonight. And this is the one it picked, which is, I call it Welcome to Christmas. But I did pull up the pattern. I'm going to actually show you, but let me get it off the chart. It's actually called A Warm Welcome by Doreen Jones. So that's what it'll look like finished. Except, of course, my last name will go there instead of theirs. But funny enough, it says Jones's, and my last name's James, so it's not going to look too terribly different than that. So you can kind of picture it. Anyways, it's called A Warm Welcome. I call it Welcome to, and then this is a Christmas wreath, so I call it Welcome to Christmas. So, and that's where I'm at right now. And this is going to be it tonight. Last night I got fully caught up on this month's focus piece, focus stitches. They just put out April's to start on tomorrow. So we'll see if I get to do any stitching tomorrow. And that is it. So I will check back in later tonight. Alright then, we have come to the end of the night. I need to refill some links in my project bag because I ran out. So like, I don't know how to hold anything. This and this color, the next color I would work on, I have to put more in there. So anyways, I'm gonna work on refilling that. Here's where I got to tonight. Well, it's been 670 stitches since midnight. Let me see what it was before midnight. 168 before midnight. So I had a hard time getting started tonight, having some focus issues, and then once I got in my groove, here we go. Let's see. Oops. look at my pattern. So just under where the back stitching stops, so right about here, that is halfway down the page. So I officially have a quarter of the page complete. So, okay, well, half of this page, a quarter of the whole project, because of course this is halfway, because that's how magazines do it. They split it directly in the middle. So anyways, I'm going to get everything packed up, go home and take a little nap, then pick up the kiddos and head to Houston. So we'll see if I'm able to get some footage over the next couple days. If not, I will see y'all sometime later this week. Of course, for you it'll be like 5 seconds. So anyways, I will talk to y'all then. Okay. Good morning again. It's still April 1st. It's only been about 10 minutes since I was last on the video. Because it is the first of the month, I decided to go ahead and work on my March. I don't know, what do you call it at the end of the shift when you count your till and see how you did? Whatever. That I do at the end of, as summary, recap, information overload, I don't know. So, that I do at the end of each month. I decided to go ahead and get it over with because I was able to fill my baggie with all the floss in just a couple minutes. So, first, I worked on every single one of my whips this month. I guess I could have had that information ready. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 whips when I started the month. I had 20. I added one, so I had one new start, and it was one of the Advent animals, because then shortly after that I decided I wasn't going to do new starts anymore. And I had 5 finishes. And as I told you in a previous video, I decided to completely UFO Easter tree. Like, I removed it from my list. So, I am starting out April with 15, I believe. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 whips. So one new start, 5 finishes, going into April with 15 whips. Of those 15, okay, let me not put it that way because I'm confusing myself. On my year of whips, I started out with 16, UFO'd Easter tree, so it's not on the list. That still leaves me with 15. The minimum goal is to complete half of those, so I would think 8 by the end of the year. So far I've completed 4. So I am a quarter of the way through my year of whips, but I am halfway to completing the minimum goal. I think that makes it look very promising, because sometimes I get a little freaked out, but it's just because I want to achieve as much as possible, and so I've got to focus. So anyway, this month was my best month yet when it comes to stitching, which is kind of surprising because in January I did not have one day where I didn't get some sort of stitching in. This month I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days where I put 0 stitches in, and it was still my best month yet. So that means I did some pretty significant stitching on other days. My stitch total for March was 23,171. That's 747 stitches a day averaged out. So not too bad. I think that's pretty freaking awesome. And with 5 finishes, I guess that makes a lot of sense. Okay, now on to my social media stats. On Instagram, oh, I gotta pull this up, hold on. I've got I think I need to reorganize this because it's not, it has everything I need, but not in the most functional locations, because it makes, I have to flip through this whole thing to find stuff. Okay, I'm at 538 followers now on YouTube. Thank you all for subscribing and coming back. That's a change of 64 subscribers from March 1st, which is a pretty significant jump because in February I had a change of 47, and this month I had a change of 64, so that was pretty cool. And then on Instagram, I now have 326 followers. That's 54 more than last month, and the change from February to March was only 32. So those numbers have gone up pretty well. I'm impressed. And of course, when Instagram gets to 500, I will have a giveaway on Instagram only. And then when either of them get to 1,000. So that is kind of my March wrap up. I can't think of anything else that I'm forgetting that I've been talking about at the end of the month. In fact, I think even that was more than I usually do. So anyways, I'm going to get out of here, and I will talk to y'all later. Have a good night, or a good 5 seconds till you see me again. Bye!
It is Wednesday, April 4th. I haven't done any vlogging since, I gave you my March end of the month stats, because this whole trip did not go like it was supposed to. So anyway, I do want to apologize because I was going back and watching my vlogs before I recorded this, and the first one where I'm in front of the camera and the last one where I'm in front of the camera, like, for some reason the sound is crap. And I'm going to try and edit that as much in iMovie as I can, but if you can't hear it, I apologize. I said a lot, and I don't really want to re-record it. You may need headphones for that section. I'm not sure, but I'll try and do better in the future. So I last left you April 1st in the morning before I left work. I went home. We got about 3 hours of sleep. Not quite even that, because it took me a while to fall asleep. But we got up about 10 o'clock, picked the kids up from their grandparents' house. They had done Easter with them that morning, and headed to Houston for my son's dental appointment, dental surgery, or what I thought was going to be. So we get Monday morning, we get there, and we're the first ones there. They're having to do a consultation and then a surgery all in the same day, because we've never seen these people before. We're being referred to them by the oral surgeon that couldn't perform the surgery. So they treat them like a whole new patient, because that's what they have to per insurance. Plus I think it's good practice, but anyway. So they do an x-ray, and before they even get a chance to talk to us, they look over the x-ray and they said, okay, why are you here? We explained that the last surgeon saw the mass, said that we would have to remove 2 teeth, scoop out the mass, test it, to see what it is. I said, okay, what about this over here? And we were like, what? What did you see? Because it feels like every time we go in for something, there is something more. I know this is obviously not the case, because he doesn't spend 24/7 in a doctor's office, but it sure does feel like it. So there is a mass on the other jaw, or the other side. So we started out with his right side. There was that mass between his grown-up teeth and his baby teeth, and it's pushing everything in places it's not supposed to be. This one is on the other side and is more or less sitting on top of everything and making it so that nothing is growing like it's supposed to. He said that it was sitting on top of his 6-year-old molars. He hadn't gotten his molars yet, and he's 8. So that was very highly unusual. So, and then of course he can tell there's something over there. Though his imaging was a lot better than the 2 previous offices we had been to, so there was that. There was also the fact that it didn't, because it wasn't in between teeth, it didn't have good lines. Like the other one, you could tell was more or less a circle, but this one you couldn't. So he said, let me get a CT scan to get a better idea of what we're working with, because even if I'm going to take them out completely, I need dimensions. I need to know where it's at, my quickest, easiest way to get to it, that sort of thing. Because, you know, my son's young. He likes to be as minimally invasive with children as possible, which I thought was great. I really did like this doctor. Let me say that. I would recommend people going to him. He was nice, thorough. He played worst case scenario with me, you know, said we prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So he's like, let's get the CT scan. The CT scan took all of 20 seconds. They had him stand somewhere and the thing just went around his head. It was awesome. He did so well. He was a super trooper about the entire thing. And he didn't want to be there, because when we go to Houston to visit doctors and things like that, we stay with my parents and my brother and sister, who are close to Ryan's age, and so he just wanted to stay home and play with them. And so he was really being a trooper, and the guy put on Netflix for him and everything. It was awesome. So they do the CT scan, and it shows just how big the second mass is, and it's much bigger than the first one, much higher up. So he's like, what we're going to do is we're just going to take a small biopsy from each one, get the results back, and go from there on what we need to do. And so I kind of, you know, I was asking questions, and I said, well, this guy said this, and he's like, well, that's changed because of this. Like, we did a lot of back and forth, and he was really great about answering my silly questions. And he said, okay, so let's play worst case scenario. He said, if this is something really bad, wouldn't say what. If he said it's really bad, then he may have to take the baby teeth, take the grown-up teeth that haven't come in yet, take part of the bone, just all depending. If so, he'll have to do a bone graft. It could be highly extensive. Or it could be as simple as scooping it out. It will have to come out either way because it's blocking the teeth. So there will be another surgery at some point, more than likely very soon. They really depend on what the biopsy says. While they were in there doing the biopsy, they found a third mass. So they didn't biopsy the third mass, and they didn't explain why. I didn't really ask. At that point, I was just a little overwhelmed. And so we'll see what happens. The fact that there's a third mass is not a great sign, as one would probably figure. So that's where he's at. He did exceptionally well during the biopsy. He did not wake up so well. He was very angry, and all he wanted to do was get out of there, and they wouldn't let him, because when he was fighting them as he was waking up, he pulled his IV out, so they weren't able to flush the anesthesia out of him. So then they made him wait there a little longer till his stats leveled out, and of course he's screaming and crying and fighting, and so his heart rate is like through the roof, and they're like, it needs to come down. So then we had to explain to him, you need to calm down or else it's not going to come down. Well, then he'd calm down and he'd get the levels to where they told him they needed to be. And when that didn't like make them take out everything off immediately, he would get all upset again and bring those numbers right back up. So it was funny. What was really funny was one of the doctors asked him, so since you're 8, I figure you don't probably smoke or drink, right? And he was like, he just laughed at him. He never even answered the guy, just laughed at him. It was funny. So, he's doing really well. He's got a jaw that looks like this, but we're back in school and we're waiting 7 to 10 days to get the results. So, that was my quick life update. We're home now. Obviously, I'm back at work. I was so exhausted by the time we got home. I think we stayed up for like an hour and then went straight to bed, which meant I got up at 10:30 this morning, stayed up all day, and then had to come to work tonight. So yeah, that was all that. Now, I haven't started stitching tonight. It's been a little hectic here at work. I did want to show you a couple things before I end this vlog and post it. I know it's not my greatest vlog ever, but you know, it's been a hectic week. So, and I may have more hecticness coming up, so just be prepared. I'll do my best to make sure there's at least one video every week though. Do my best. So, Leslie at Under the Sea Fabrics, her Lugana and Jovelin was on back order, and she finally got it. So she was just now sending out February's fabric of the month, and so I got mine in the mail today. Well, I probably got it the other day. I was out of town, and sorry, my lighting is really bad, but it's got some really nice purple and green and blue in there. I really like it. So there's that. Also, while my husband was driving home, I decided to play with crochet, and that's what I got done. It's not a lot, it's not perfect, but not bad for my first real try. I mean, I don't know that it's something I'll stick with. Maybe. Or just play with every now and again. I don't know. We'll see. So, I'm still learning. I don't really want it to take away from my stitching time though, so I'm having a hard time going, is that a hobby I want to add onto my plate, or do I want to just not? But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I think that's it. So tonight I'm going to be working on Under the Sea. I've got to catch up on April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, which is 253, 370, yeah, 375 stitches. Here is April's calendar. Again, this is part of the Ultimate Cross Stitch group on Facebook if you're interested in joining. We're currently trying to get to 2 million stitches. We have about 4 or 5 days left. Not sure when you see this video. So feel free to join and stitch like crazy. We're at, I think we're over 1.5 million. So there's that. And tonight will probably be Legendary Creatures, because my calendar's a little funky. I gotta go in and adjust it for the fact that I didn't stitch for the last few days. So I did stitch a little bit, but it wasn't significant enough to show, and I don't have it with me. So that is it for this week. I want to thank you all for joining me. Hope you come back. I will let you know when I know about what is going on with Ryan. I try and be inclusive. There may be points where I can't do that. I need to keep it within our family. But if I can, I'll share. So, yeah, that's it. And, oh, I did get the floss from Monopoly, so it will be back in rotation this week. Like you care. Okay, so that is it. I hope y'all have a great week and happy stitching, and I will talk to you later.